Welcome to this weekly reading for week 39 from September 24 to September 30. As always, please remember that this is a general reading on the energies going on right now in the world and inside of us as human beings, as Earth people. It will not necessarily resonate with your private lives in details. However, if you would like a personal reading, feel free to email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I do readings in both Danish and English. As mentioned earlier, I've dived into the energy of Isis, the Egyptian goddess of all stars and mother of the sea, as she has come up in some of my readings lately. The message from her this week is that we only need a few cards for this week's reading, because a lot of things went on last week with the moon, which went through 3 zodiac signs. So we might be a little overwhelmed emotionally and tired also on a physical level. We just left the earth sign of Virgo, which was all about our health. And now we are moving into the zodiac sign of Libra, which is all about balance. So we're only going to pull 2 major arcana cards this week and 2 minor arcana cards, so that we are not going to feel overburdened with too many informations. Isis asks us this week to keep it simple. She also asks us to keep the bigger picture, to focus on the bigger picture. There are galaxies here to assist us in our transition or our transformation. She's also telling us that there's a break of dawn coming. It's a new dawn for us, for the world. And that will come in with the full moon on Monday the 24th. Now the last week, which was all about the moon, walking through 3 zodiac signs, was also about building up to this full moon. With that movement through the 3 zodiac signs last week, we also moved emotionally to a higher level. And now we are ready to take in what the full moon has for us. After the full moon, we will start to release everything that we have built up to this full moon, which means that change can take place now. When I shuffled the card, I was listening to some music on my computer, some good vibrational music in order to be more concentrated. And I listened to some music that I very rarely listen to, and it was a music piece by Bob Sinclair. I don't know if you know him, and it was World Hold On. I haven't heard that for a very long time, but there are some really good, strong vibrations in that kind of music and in the text. And in the middle of the song, he is singing, "One day you will have to answer to every children in the sky." So there is something going on this week with the world and us being children. Because when I shuffled the cards at the same time I was listening to this music, the World card came out. So there is something going on. Now I'll get back to the World card in just a minute when we start the reading for this week. And afterwards, my computer chose the music itself because I was busy shuffling the cards, so I didn't pay attention to that. I hadn't stopped the computer. So it just continued to play music, and the next piece of music that came up was with Robert Miles, an instrumental piece of music called Children. So there is something going on this week with the world and with us being children in it. We need to see ourselves as children in this world and see ourselves as innocent creatures that are pure by spirit, that can, like I mentioned before, see the break of dawn like it's a new beginning, taking responsibility for the new things coming in by seeing it through the eyes of children. That could also mean that it's a good idea to follow the pulse of the universe, to feel it in our hearts. And Isis is telling us that since we're asking what we are here in the world to do and what she thinks that the world should know right now, it could be that we should follow the pulse of the universe. It has to be in alignment. So let's see what this week's reading has for us. And the first card that came up was the Devil card, card number 15. It's all about instinctiveness. It came out upside down, and it tells us about inner anxiety, immoral actions, perversions, and wickedness. And I feel that my attention is drawn to immoral actions and wickedness. We can see what's going on in the world right now, and also Trump comes up in my mind and all the stuff going on in the financial world right now. Now, even in a small country like Denmark, we have a big case going on right now with Danske Bank, the Danish bank. I don't know if you've heard of it, which has been drawn into a corruption episode, which seems to have shocked people to a degree that we thought wasn't possible. In many areas in the world, we see a lot of stuff going on, a lot of impulses of immoral actions and wickedness, like I mentioned before. People are being plain evil, cheating people, cheating themselves. So I asked for a little bit more specific details on this and why we are seeing this situation right now in the world. And the first card from the Minor Arcana deck that came out was the Queen of Chalices. Chalices being all about our emotions, our spirituality, our sensitivity. It came out also upside down, like the Devil card. Now normally she is the lover, the wife, or sincere friend. She is sensitivity and foresight. But something is telling me that since she's coming out upside down, we have not really gotten into contact with her, with that side of us 100%. We are not yet ready to welcome her in our lives because we are not making room for her. And that could be why we are seeing all these kind of chaotic situations in the world right now. Now, to get a little bit more specific details on that, I drew another card from the Minor Arcana deck, and Knight of Pentacles came out. Now, Pentacles is the deck for money and our material lives, our physical surroundings. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is being all about self-confidence, and he's kind of the consultant. He's also that new, fresh energy coming in. So it tells me that we are still feeling pretty self-confident about ourselves when it comes to money and our material lives. The frames that we are building for ourselves, it's suiting us actually very fine. We are not dreaming about making that much of a change in that area. So as long as we're having our focus on that area of our lives and not on the focus of our emotions and our spirituality, then we can't make room for the Queen of Chalices to come into our lives with love and sensitivity and foresight. We're reaching a climax on this area, I'm sensing. And it's like Isis is coming in and telling us to do something about this soon. The Knight of Pentacles could also tell us that we like to be our own consultant, that we are not asking for deeper advice on a deeper level within ourselves. It's like we're only taking responsibility for our physical surroundings, what we can see is going on outside of us. And we don't really pay attention to what is going on inside of us, within ourselves. And we have not yet acknowledged that to change the world, we need to look inside ourselves first and change from within. And that's what Isis is telling us to change soon. So we need to figure out for how much longer we want to deal with all this lying and corruption going on in the world. When do we have enough? When do we see that it's only the power of love that is the only thing existing in the world, the only thing important in the world, and not the love of power? So let's move on to the next major arcana card and see what it can tell us. Now the World card came out, as I mentioned in the beginning of the reading, and it came out upside down. Now normally the World card is about reward and success. But as it comes out upside down, it's telling me that it's more about imperfection. It's about failure and chaos and setbacks. It's also about revolution. We must accept that the world and our lives are not and are not meant to be perfect, because perfection does not exist. Isis comes in here too, and it's like she's telling me, snap out of it. Move on, snap out of it. Keep your eyes focused on revolution. This is telling me that we need to take action. We need it. And as I mentioned before, Other galaxies are ready to assist us. We have our free will. So Isis is telling us, please say yes, because we are not alone in this transition and this transformation going on a global scale right now. Now let's find out if there's some more specific information about this from the Minor Arcana deck. The first card that came out was the Ace of Wands. Wands is telling us about our physical body and our creative activity. And so the Ace of Wands is about invention, initiative, discovery, masculine strength. As I mentioned before, we have a full moon on the 24th. This full moon is in the zodiac sign of Aries. Aries is all about initiation. The home planet of Aries is Mars, which is all about forward moving action. If you would like to know more on the Moon-Mars relation, please tune in to my website herlanguage.dk. I will very soon make a video on that. Now, as the Ace of Wands also is telling us about discovery, this means that we need to respond actively on what we have just discovered in the world about corruption, about cheating going on, fraud going on. We need to respond to that actively on a physical level. When I asked for more specific details on this, Four of Pentacles came out. Pentacles again telling us about our material lives, our economics. Now, Four of Pentacles is talking about realization, commercial expansion, investments, and new development of enterprises. My focus here is drawn especially to new development of enterprises. It's like we need to reinvent the concept of enterprises to a more like how can we assist each other in living in pure sustainability, in producing our food, our clothes, etc. We will become rich, but as human beings, not with money. So that's a whole new concept of enterprise. So this is a bigger picture of what is going on in the world right now. And please remember, we just moved into the sign of Libra, which is all about being balanced. So we need to thrive towards balance. The home planet of the zodiac sign of Libra is Venus. If you would like to know more about the combination Sun-Venus, please tune in to my website herlanguage.dk. I will very soon make a video on that too. To find out how all this will play out for us during the week, I looked at the bottom of each deck, starting with the Major Arcana card deck. I found the Star card, card number 17, which is about hope. That is talking about purity of spirit, benefits, superior intelligence, bright ideas, and favorable prediction. The angel cards of last week was talking about flexibility and courage. Courage to see what is really going on and courage to be a little more flexible in how we have been viewing the world so far. If we keep that courage with us this week, we will have favorable prediction. My focus is especially drawn to these two words, favorable prediction. So if we choose that forward-moving action in keeping our eyes open to what is really going on behind the scene, we will have benefits from that. To get some more specific information on the card of hope, I looked at the bottom of the deck of the Minor Arcana card deck, and I found the Knave of Chalices. Chalices being about our sensitivity, our psychic abilities, our emotions, our spirituality. And so the Knave of Chalices is the confident person. He's the messenger of love. He's idealism. It's also kind of a young energy coming in to work with us. That shows us that we will never be alone. We will always have access to the inner eternal source of energy, love, joy, which is the pulse of the universe, as we were talking about before. We will all have everything and even more than we could ever imagine possible if we just stick to that inner source within ourselves. The moon will enter the zodiac sign of Taurus later this week. Taurus is a zodiac sign of feeling safe, of enjoying beautiful things, of enjoying abundance in your life. So maybe we will start to see things coming into the world with beauty, where we can feel free and enjoy the abundance. The home planet of Taurus is Venus. If you would like to know more about the Moon-Venus relation, please tune in to my website, herlanguage.dk. I will very soon make a video on that too. Additionally, I pulled a few cards from the original Angel card deck by Kathy Tyler and Joy Drake, just to find out if there's anything we need to remember to go through this week. The first card I drew was the Humor card. As you can see on the card, there's an angel clown with a lot of balloons, ready to go out and have fun and entertain other people and having a good time. You kind of become a little bit happy watching this picture, I think. So this could mean that Isis is trying to remind us that we need to have fun and that we're not supposed to get caught in all the evil going on in the world right now, but try to look at it with fresh and new eyes and take responsibility for it all happening by making some forward-moving action on it. Often humor seems to be bridge building between two parties who do not necessarily agree that much, or maybe even at all. So we are reminded to take that with us this week and try to be bridge building people. As I recall, we pulled the Empress card last week, which is all about the divine motherly love coming in, supporting us with resolving help to succeed in being bridge building people. Now she is still with us, trying to resolve help for us. So we also need to bear that in mind for this week. I pulled another angel card additionally to find out what this humor was all about, because I found it a little bit odd to pull such a glad card when times are being so rocky on a global scale right now. The card I pulled is Synthesis. On the card we see a picture of a beautiful, colorful angel with a rainbow over her head. So again we have this bridge building issue coming up again. We seem to be in the middle of building a new bridge to a new age for the entire world. It could also talk about building a new balance for the world, seeking a new balance for the world, as we are in the zodiac sign of Libra the next month. This could be something that we have been building up to for a very long time. With the moon movement of last week and this week's full moon, we have definitely built up to this during the past 2 or 3 weeks. Now we can start to release all that energy. So the theme for this week seems to be to keep our balance within ourselves, to keep our balance between our thoughts, our mental realm, and our emotions and our spirituality, our own inner voice, to be able to keep the balance outside of ourselves, in our own surroundings. So I'm gonna leave it at that, wishing you all a divinely balanced week. Hope you enjoyed this week's reading, and I will tune in again very soon. Thank you for watching and listening.